Okay, this is a little review of my little Wanscam wireless Wi-Fi security camera. As I got off of eBay store, I got it from is Die Music, but they're all over. All you do is search for wireless security cam. So this one was only $49.30. I believe free shipping. Came from China, of course. It only took a couple weeks to get here. But has a lot of nice features. Can run off of Wi-Fi if you have it set up on your computer. I'm using my actual LAN network because I don't have Wi-Fi on this computer here. So I just got it plugged into a LAN port. This is where the Wi-Fi went. But this is the camera here. This part here and the dome is a separate thing I got. So it was about another 40 some bucks in China too, because this thing isn't for outdoors, but that's where I need to put it. So I got this little enclosure. It's like a little night light or a street light. Got the dome that'll go underneath of it. One thing I don't like about the dome though is it's clear here on the top, but here towards the bottom it's a little opaque and you can't see through. But once the camera's on there, it shouldn't be a problem. And that's why this camera wasn't made for that this enclosure, so I had to make my own little mount that I printed out so it would bolt in there and hold the camera up high enough so that I can sit the dome on there and still be able to see through. One problem I had with it, the only screws that came with it was ones to be able to mount it to the wall. You need 4 screws to mount the dome on here, and it didn't come with it, so let's get the scrounge them up. I'm putting mine on a 4x4 post outside, so I printed this big piece up so I can run the wires through into the house. But that'll just sit on a 4x4 post and put a couple screws in there, and that'll hold that. I got it so it's facing down. You can also run the camera with it facing up. Just click a button in the software to flip the image over. But for right now, I'll just show it like I use it. Put it upside down like that. Okay, it comes with a wee little CD. It's got a couple little programs on it. One's called OCX Setup. You just run that, and then you run the search tool. And then when you run the search tool program, it pops up here and shows all your you can choose your network card or your wireless modem or whatever you're going to use, and it'll show up it'll pop up a bunch of addresses. But it automatically, when you first run it, it automatically searches for the camera, and this is it right here. It shows up in that box there. And run it, just double click on that, and it's going to open up in your default browser. I'm using Firefox, but it'll work in Internet Explorer too. And it's asking you for the username and password, and I ain't gonna show you that part. Let's see, you can't see now. Okay, enter that stuff in, just click OK, and then the next screen will pop up. You got a few choices here. You run your ActiveX mode, that's for Internet Explorer, or server ports for Firefox or Google, and then you get your mobile. It's supposed to work with some cell phones too. Then you just click sign in, and there we go. We got the screen. It's a pretty basic screen. You can run it in 640 by 480 like I have here, or down to 320 by 240 if you want. It's got your basic direction functions up here. Move it around. And like I said, it's got the buttons here for, this is the flip it over, or that's the mirror rather, and this is the flip the image over. So if you ran the camera, you know, sitting straight up, you can change it to whatever you need. It's got some other functions like it'll do a panning for you, and it'll just move about the room or wherever you're gonna run the camera. Okay, it has a bunch of you can set a bunch of presets. It's got 16 listed here. You just point the camera to wherever you want it pointing, and then click set, and then move it somewhere else, and click number 2 and click set, and then you can just click enter the number and then click call, and it'll automatically jump back to that position. It shows zoom and buttons here, but they don't do anything with this camera here. It doesn't have it. You can adjust your brightness and contrast too. That's basically about it. So you can set patrol. Here's horizontal patrol, and it'll just, you know, turn that back off. Printer over there. And you can have it set up just, you know, don't pan and sweeps. Keep an eye on everything. And it's got a bunch of different tools, a bunch of different settings you can set up for your different networks, or it's got a mail server setting. Supposedly you could have it take snapshots and send them to your email and other things like that. I haven't messed with that yet. And it does have infrared, supposed to work at night. That little green LED is a little irritating. But it's got several infrared LEDs on it. It's supposed to work out to, I think, 30 feet. And it does work. So you point down there, turn the light out. And you can see my regular camera looking in this area here. I can't see anything, but on that camera with the infrared going, it looks pretty clear. Now, one thing I did notice, I had it set up for a little while just pointing out the front window, and once it starts to get dark out, that the infrareds, they just bounce off the glass, and it just puts a big glare and you can't see anymore. So it doesn't go through glass very well either. And here's what the dome. Hard to see. I can't hold it up here with one hand, but you can see there's a little bit of reflection there too from the LED, and that flashing green LED you see bouncing off the dome. It's not really made to work, you know, outside and at night, or outside or looking through glass. So what I'm going to do is stop that bothering me is I printed out a little cover. I'll just snap right on the front and block those LEDs from putting out. So then, of course, I block them. They don't work at night anymore, but I also got couple of these LED spotlights. Supposed to be good for like 100 feet. So I got 2 of them. They were like, I think $6 or something like that. And they are supposed to be rated for outdoors. So we're just going to make a couple mounts to put them on here so they're looking at different sides of the house, and I'll be all set. I have the little LED floodlights that'll come on at night, and the camera will should be able to look through the dome without the LEDs reflecting back off of it. But you can find all that stuff on eBay. Alright, here's the listing for that outdoor enclosure. It's just called outdoor CCTV dome housing enclosure for pan tilt camera. It's come from Certain Time Digital E. It was $46.99, free shipping. It's coming from China, of course. And then I got the 48 LED illuminator light, CCTV, IR, infrared night vision, and power supply. And I guess I did pay a little bit more, $11.76, but you got the power supply with that one. That was right, but it was free shipping too. I got 2 of them. Got that from Dream Macy's store. It actually comes from Massachusetts.